Stipulated in Article 110B, Section 5 and 6 of the Namibian Constitution, to deliver the State of the Regional Address on planned activities of the central government and the regional development and challenges to the residents of the Zambezi region at large. This address focuses on activities undertaken during the previous financial year 2023-2024, as we meet to reflect upon progress and the challenges facing our beloved Zambezi region. It is with a sense of duty and optimism that I address this gathering and those that are following through media. Our region, with its rich, fertile agricultural land, tourism facets, agricultural heritage, diverse landscapes, and vibrant communities, holds immense potential and for growth and prosperity. Yet we must also acknowledge the obstacles before us and unite in our efforts to overcome them. In the past year, despite the unprecedented challenges brought by the global pandemic and other socio-economic hurdles, the resilience and the determination of our people have shone brightly. Together we have navigated through turbulent times, adapting to new activities, realities, and supporting one another with unwavering solidarity. It is for this cause that I eagerly stand to depict the outcomes of solidarity to the residents of the region. As citizens of Namibia and as residents of the Zambezi region, we are compelled to render effective governance in the position entrusted to us through the established levels of government structures. This calls for accountability, transparency, equitable integrity, and adherence to the rule of law over the resources availed for development. The Regional Council, Local Authority Council, and Village Council are the umbrella bodies through which good governance flow to the people. During the year under review, the security cluster worked tirelessly to ensure security stability and safe environment. Crime prevention operations, community engagements, and the investigation of offenders were intensified. Awareness campaigns and alerting the community about community policing, cross-border crimes, stock theft, gender-based violence, drug and alcohol abuse, and unexploded ordinances were conducted. Fisheries sector conducted routine patrols to enforce compliance of the Inland Fisheries Resources Act for the sustainable usage of fisheries resources. Land and river patrols were conducted to combat illegal fishing, and 147 fines were issued to offenders compared to 111 of the previous year. 9 case dockets were opened against 23 Zambians as well as 3 Namibians for contravening the provision of the Inland Fisheries Act and the regulations of 2003. Through financial assistance from KFW under the Follow Kilo project, the Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources, together with the Minister of Environment, Forest and Tourism, managed to procure 6 patrol boats and 2 outboard engines to be used in different conservancies that have fisheries reserves. The Ministry of Fisheries continues to promote aquaculture, inland fisheries, research and establishment of fisheries reserves in the region. Infrastructure development is enormous to ensure progression in the developing economy. Improving educational structure in the region is ongoing. The construction of Ndoro Memorial and Shumasburg hostels progressed and is projected to be completed during this financial year. More classrooms were constructed and renovated in schools such as Masokotwane and the Resero schools, funded by the Chinese government, Impalila classroom block funded by the Japanese government, and the Ngwezi Primary, Ngwezi Secondary, Brandon Simbwaye, Greenwell Matongo, Tobias Anyeko, Affairs and Pofu, and Katima combined schools each received additional classroom blocks funded by our prestige government. Constructions and renovations of hostel, kitchen and dining hall at Marine Senior Secondary School were completed. Rural electrification projects under the auspices of the Ministry of Mines and Energy, NAMPOWER and NORAD strived to provide services to the communities. The successful completion of rural electrification projects in flood-prone areas was realized. The installation of a 3 by 50 kVA transformers to supply electricity at Mkorofu, Nankuntwe, and the Nang schools was completed and handed over at the cost of $4.5 million. The installation of 50 kVA transformer at Banshulu Village and MTC Tower was completed at the cost of $9 million, whereby the installation of 50 kVA transformer at Masambo Primary School is ongoing. Upon completion, there will be 10 schools, that's Ndoro, Memorial, Kandunda, Kaseta, Kaunikwa, Old Masokotwani, Sundwa, Itrava, Kukano, Muzii, Malalakanga, and Affairs and Pofu that will not be connected to the grid. The completion of these rural electrification projects signifies more than just the installation of power lines and infrastructure. It represents a transformative shift towards enhancing livelihoods, empowering communities, unlocking economic potential in previously marginalized areas, and attaining the Vision 2030 objectives. Katima Mlilo Town Council recorded an achievement on the design of Katima Mlilo Master Plan. Topographical survey has been completed. The design of the provision of water reticulation services extension 30 was completed at the tune of $3 million. The consultant has been appointed and the bid advertised. The council has also appointed the consultant for the design of the rerouting of sewer reticulation lines in Katima Mlilo Extension 1 and 7. The provision of water reticulation pipes in Nova is ongoing. Another lead was realized through the construction of the new Magistrates Court, which has been completed and is yet to be inaugurated. The office will tackle the challenge of lack of space that was experienced, and in the same manner, aspiring for the appointment of magistrates and prosecutors in the region to attend to registered cases which are on the increase. Records shows that out of 1,485 cases registered during the year under review, only 236 cases were finalized. Ngoma and Omega periodical courts remain operational and accessible to the public, and there are future plans to establish periodical courts at Impalila, Bongola, and Chinchimani. The health sector recorded progress on the construction of Linyanti and the Malengalenga primary health care clinics at the cost of $17 million each and stands at 95% complete rate. These projects are projected to be inaugurated this year. With the support from Center for Disease Control, the construction of outreach points at Masambo and Foma were realized and are nearing completion. Construction of Muzii Primary Health Care Clinic was terminated after the contractor failed to complete the project. The Ministry of Health and Social Services is in the process of re-advertising the tender to complete the project. The procurement of the renovation of Bakuvaja, Sachona, and Isize clinics was approved for 2024-25 financial year. Bukalo Village Council successfully rehabilitated the sewer system, which resulted in sewer influent not reaching the oxidation point and is now flowing properly. Pump station 1 and 2 were serviced and replaced with new motors, while pump station 3 was only serviced and is fully operational. Pump stations 4 and 5 still require servicing and rerouting. Under the private sector investments, the construction of Zambezi College of Science and Agriculture in Bukalo is ongoing. The expansion of the bulk water reservoir, phase 1, training hostel accommodation, automotive workshop, and the multi-purpose hall at the Zambezi Vocational Training Center were completed and inaugurated in March this year. This was a 3-year construction project under the National Technical Vocational Education and Training Expansion Program, funded by the African Development Bank through the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, at the value of $60 million. The phase 2 of this program is at the planning and costing stage and is yet to be completed by December this year. The road networking progressed through the realization of the upgraded of access roads, thus district roads 3456, 3547, and 3575 to low volume seal standard in Impalila Island. The 25-kilometer road in Impalila was completed at the cost of $46 million and was officially inaugurated. The regraveling of District Road 3514, Mwambezi to Zambezi, 3526 Lizauli to Mungamuke, 3525 Masida, and the 3526 from Kaliangile to TR86 at Sachinga are expected to be completed during the 24-25 financial year. A number of routine maintenance and flood emergency repair works were undertaken in the areas of Katima Mulilo. Namibia has a social progression component designed to meet basic human rights, enhance and sustain the quality of living. The region strived through various honors to better the standard of living among the communities. Zambezi Regional Council, through the Constituency Development Fund, spent $1.6 million on 87 microfinancing projects in all 8 constituencies. The Cash and the Food for Work program received $164,000 to implement development projects. 4 projects ranging from clearing access roads, construction of preschool using traditional materials, support to traditional kutas, and the bread making were implemented, and 64 short-term employment were created through this program. 98 VIP toilets were constructed at the cost of $1.3 million in 7 rural constituencies, benefiting 98 households. 18 boreholes were drilled across the region, while 20 boreholes were installed and 4 water points rehabilitated. 54 water points within all constituencies were repaired. Functionality assessment was conducted for 31 water point committees. Water provision in rural areas and institutions rendering basic services such as schools, clinics, and the police stations was done using water tanker deliveries. The region was identified to pilot water energy food nexus projects as adopted by SADC. The Minister of Mines and Energy through Minister of Agriculture, Water, Rural and Land Reform and the Zambezi Regional Council identified the Lobuta area for the implementation of the project. The project attained the installation of a new 2.2 kilowatt solar PV system for irrigation, the installation of a drip irrigation system for 2 hectares, and drilled a borehole to supply water for irrigation and domestic purposes, just to mention a few. Land registration programs processed 555 customary land rights, 3 occupational land rights, and 1 leasehold land rights. 558 land rights and 510 land right certificates were issued. The region collected an amount of $2 million from leaseholders for annual rental fees. The region recorded an improvement of 19% in the 2023 regional performance for NSCO and NSAS. 479 learners qualified to NSAS in 2023 as compared to 375 in 2022. This improvement necessitated an addition of 1 more school to 5 existing schools offering advanced subsidiary. Another achievement was an introduction of basic pre-vocational at Sundano Technical School. However, regional performance still needs major improvement in intermediate and senior secondary grades. The junior primary phase performed above the regional target of 65% by obtaining 77%. The Division of Civil Registration registered 1,256 normal birth registration and 2,948 late birth registration, a total of 4,204 birth registration to fulfill one of the fundamental human rights. As an ongoing process of identity registration, 3,233 new IDs applications were issued and 2,493 certificates. Bukalo Village Council under land and housing delivery programs availed land for the construction of housing units. Shared Dwellers Federation with Standard Bank Namibia Buy a Brick initiative constructed 23 housing units and handed over to the beneficiaries. Under Build Together Housing Program, 15 houses were constructed and handed over to the beneficiaries. 15 hectares of virgin land in portion 3 of Bukalo Town and townland number 1354 was allocated to us as land in joint venture with Hampo Investment CC for the construction of 163 houses. An amount of $3 million was availed by the central government for the compensation of 39 residents. The compensation process is ongoing and stands at 95% completion. The construction of Bukalo Open Market is at completion stage at phase 2, while the construction of steel canopy and community hall, which is phase 3 and 4, will commence during the 24-25 financial year. The Directorate of Parks and Wildlife Management generated $34 million through conservancies, a decrease from the amount of $37 million in 2022-23 financial year. An amount of $12 million was paid out as total to community members benefiting all Zambezis in Zambezi conservancies. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Tourism, in its obligation through the poverty-oriented support to community conservation in Namibia, handed over human wildlife grants to the value of $17 million to 12 conservancies to implement human wildlife conflict mitigation measures such as the erection of predator-proof crops and the provision of water points away from the rivers. Integrated forest management plan for Masida and Sachona community forests was facilitated and 16 local community members participated. Trade in forest products such as wood products, devil's claw, and honey continue to serve an important local income generating activities. The amount of $240,000 was generated as benefit for local communities in gazetted community forests. The amount of $1 million grant was approved and handed to Sekajabuka and the Lubuta community forests from CCFN for enhancing beekeeping and honey project. About 33 bee farmers comprised of 17 women and 16 men are involved in this project. To empower women and youth, the Ministry of Sports, Youth and the National Service, at the core of youth development, executed integration programs such as the 121 Rural Youth Enterprise, Namibia National Credit Scheme, and the G2G program funded by USAID. Through these programs, startup businesses were funded to operate bakeries in Kabenoth and Katimaroa. 140 young women and men were trained under the comprehensive sexual education, gender-based violence and economic strengthening curriculum. And 5 beneficiaries received business starter toolkits. The annual fishing moratorium was lifted, which allowed fish traders to continue trading during the breeding season. 16 registered small-scale fish farmers were provided with aquaculture extension services, and the distribution of fingerlings was carried out. I would like to urge our people to work hand in hand with the fisheries inspectors so that we conserve our fish for current and future generations. Our government took a solemn stand to continue enhancing and integrating the livelihood of the heroes and heroines who fought for the liberation and independence of this country. In so doing, Veterans Affairs, in accordance with the Veterans Act No. 2 of 2008 and the regulations thereof, successfully implemented various social progression programs. 3 veterans benefited from the individual veterans projects to the tune of $510,000 by application. 1 benefited from the housing program, and 418 veterans were approved for the welfare grant. To enhance crop production, the Directorate of Agricultural Production, Extension and Engineering Services implemented programs such as dry land crop production, horticulture support, and the production of incentive for sunflower oil seed and cowpeas seed projects. Agronomic programs are vital to advance food security and the resilience of farmers to climate change. Farmers were supported with subsidized farm inputs and agricultural services. The economic boom of Zambezi region is strategically located in the heart of Kaza is viable by the volume of cargo passing through the Katima Muliro and the Goma border posts using the Wolfsbane-Dollar-Lubumbashi development corridor. The volume of cargo significantly and steadily increased, thus impacting on border infrastructure. Cargo volume handled through Katima Muliro and the Goma border post recorded an increase in import value and a decrease in export value compared to 22-23 financial year. The import value stood at $45.7 billion, export value at $8.58 billion, while duties and taxes stood at $151 million. The 22-23 financial year import value was $35 billion, export $11 billion, while duties and taxes at $105 million. Number of import and export declaration made a slim increase and stood at 48,887. The implementation of the one-stop border post at Katima Muliro border post will enhance border control and increase economic trade both locally and internationally. I am glad to announce that the bilateral agreement between Namibia and Zambia on the establishment of the one-stop border post was recently signed. The region has 7 exit and entry points. A total number of 326,000 arrivals and 355,000 departures were recorded. Katima Muliro border post recorded the highest in both, hence a much needed domain to revamp the infrastructure and increase human capital. The introduction of 24 hours operation was realized and has minimized border congestion for both trucks and people. Our agriculture sector on green scheme did not yield results still. The Kalembeza green scheme last good yield was 2021. This has left the region without an economic progress on food security and job creation. We are aspiring that the allocation of funds for the 24-25 will revive the production on the project. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, bordering 4 to 5 countries demands good working environment and good coordination. The cordial relations between Namibia and Botswana have yielded the results. The Botswana-Namibia Binational Commission set the tone and directed the 2 defense forces to constitute a joint technical committee which developed a civil-military cooperation plan. This is a plan to safeguard the integrity of our territories and protecting the communities. This plan, as we speak, is operational and sensitization to communities along riverine borders on illegal crossing, illegal fishing, poaching, and a human-wildlife conflict commenced. We have engaged our Zambian counterparts to settle the issue of cattle rustling, which have hampered peace among communities living along the porous border. The development of the establishment of one-stop border post at Katima-Mjero border post is at a university stage, as the bilateral agreement between Namibia and Zambia so far has been signed. Zambezi region has dealt directly with asylum seekers and refugees from various countries, extending from DRC, Rwanda, Burundi, Cameroon, Russia, Sudan, and other countries. A total number of 429 asylum seekers from 13 countries were received, registered and transported to Osire refugee settlement, as the region has no reception area. Amid all achievements, some setbacks which hampered the success of other developments were experienced. The porous border hampers the intensity of crime prevention, as illegal cross-border activities such as stock theft and harvesting of timber, among others, have been on the increase. Limited budget allocation is a measure for the implementation and completion of planned national projects. Lack of functional vehicles in most commerce and delegated functions of rural water supply, agriculture, as well as vandalism of public infrastructure is another setback on development. Lack of office space and personnel is major to some ministries and directorates, and had derailed the quality of service delivery. The non-production of green schemes in the region is a major bar on food security and the creation of employment. 1,459 illegal fishing items such as drag nets, monofilament nets, mosquito nets, shed nets, and about 1.6 tons of fish were confiscated. These transgressions depict that local communities are still resisting the complying with fisheries management laws. Our young graduates from higher institutions, mostly those who specialize in teaching for the Ministry of Education, are clouding the streets and after graduation. Government to devise a way of resolving this predicament. There are future developmental plans to curb some, if not all, of the challenges encountered. Plans aimed for employment creation, food security, urbanization, and many more through the following. As we know, we have federal land donated by traditional authorities have been averted. Upgrading of Katima-Mjero District Hospital to an intermediate hospital as we suffer going for referrals. The implementation of community-based management water infrastructure by drilling more boreholes and rehabilitation of water points for communities and the livestock. The infrastructure development of Kongola, Sangwali, Musese, Ngoma, Chinchimani into settlements and village councils. This list is long on the agenda to develop and uplift the living standard of our communities in the Namibian House. Lastly, I would like to conclude by encouraging all office bearers and the entire community of Zambezi region to embark on the journey ahead with courage, compassion, and determination. 2024-25 was declared a year of expectation. Our late president being so rest in peace. Let us embrace the guiding tool of development, work hand in hand with the central government to ensure that national projects are executed. Together we can overcome any challenge, realizing the full potential of our beloved Zambezi region and drive the economy of our peaceful country. The challenges we encountered during the year under review should be the ladder to maximize productivity in all sectors of development. Let us strive for progress and prosperity. Let us never lose sight of our shared values and commitment to serving the common good of developing our country. May we continue to unite and be guided by the principles of justice and equality for development. Long live the Zambezi region, long live Namibia. I thank you.
So this is one of the issues that the regional council, together with the government, should look at. That we create projects that will create employment for our youth. It was also mentioned about the green schemes. We have more than 10 farms that were availed by the traditional authorities in the region, but none of those are viable or currently being cultivated. I think it's best that the regional council, together with the governor, sit and invite the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, so that this farm should be availed to the government for plowing. On water crisis, there is a serious issue that we are having in our region, particularly in the rural areas, where you find that boreholes are broken down for years, and the Minister of Agriculture, Rural Water Supply, do not have paths to repair these boreholes. This is a very serious issue where the communities buy for themselves the parts to repair their boreholes. Maybe we should look at rehabilitating these boreholes rather than drilling. Because when I'm speaking now, like in my area, in my constituency, more than 20 boreholes are broken down and they are not being repaired. But then we opt to drill a borehole which is more expensive. Why don't we just rehabilitate those boreholes, or repair those boreholes, and it is more cheaper? Maybe we can even repair more than 5 of those boreholes than drilling one borehole for 400,000. While in that 400,000, you could repair the broken boreholes, maybe 5 of them. So the government is what we should look at also, at rehabilitating those boreholes that are broken down. Also, in my constituency, from Ngonga up to Sangwali, despite having the network towers, the radio service is very poor. The reception is very poor there. As we speak now, maybe some did not even get to hear the State of the Regional Address of today because of poor reception in the national radio. So we should look at maybe engaging the NBC that these areas are also covered. It's not only in my constituency, but in other areas as well in the region. The radio service does not cover them. So the region should, the national leadership should come together and engage the national NBC to cover those areas. The rural electrification is also a serious concern, where some schools were electrified. But according to the Minister of Mines and Energy, the act is very clear there, that whenever a school is electrified, the radius of 500 should be covered. But in some part of the constituency, my constituency, or other constituencies, only schools were electrified, government institutions were not electrified, such as the traditional authority, the church, and the other institutions, non-governmental organizations were not covered. So this is a serious concern, Honorable Government, that we go back on the drawing board, where we are going to see that which schools were electrified and the areas of radius of 500 were not covered, so that we cut those government institutions as well. The last one is the Minister of Environment and Tourism. My constituency has 2 national parks. That's Mudomo National Park and Kasarpa National Park. You find that the economic activity in those areas, in those communities, people depend on reeds, on grass. And some of those resources, the levels close, you only find them in the protected areas. Is there no way that we can assist our communities? Because they depend on those natural resources before these areas become national parks. That they should be assisted, that the Minister of Tourism permits those people to go in this area to harvest. They was to also to get some reeds and grass for sale. That's it. That's their survival. So this is my submission to the Honorable Government, that we engage the Minister of Environment and Tourism so that we assist our communities. I thank you very much.
Thank you for submission of such. Let me first of all, before I come into my interventions, congratulate the Katima Mrio Town Council for successfully hosting the Zambezi Dream Festival. Indeed, it has been long overdue. The last time this region hosted such an event was in 2016, and we finally managed to resuscitate it, and it became a huge success. And it has proven once again that our efforts that we've been making to formalize the reopening of the waterfront were not in vain. Chairperson, you might remember that a few years back, there was no electricity and water at the facility. The staff members were not paid for a long time. And we intervened and sorted it out. And now we managed to have it host a major event. I must therefore call upon, through you, Honorable Chairperson, that we re-engage the Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises so that the waterfront begins operations as it was intended for. Now to my second intervention. Let me first of all add a few notes to the speech of the governor that I feel might have been left out for one reason or the other. And I hope next time it will be as comprehensive as it should be. Perhaps maybe those that were tasked with providing this information to the office of the governor did not do so. The number one item that I wish to add is that that I feel was left out. The MVA office in Katimamu is complete and awaits inauguration. The UNAM campus is almost complete. The first intake for that facility will be in January next year. Phase 1 of the modern school, which is the fencing, is done, and we await the full construction as soon as possible. There's a Choto school, 16 classrooms rather. The 2 blocks are completed, and we are awaiting the completion of the other 2 blocks, and admission of learners will take place in January next year. The Greenwell Matombo police station will be constructed very soon. The appointment of the contractor will take place very soon, and indeed the civic office of the Minister of Home Affairs. Just to mention that, just a few. So I feel that should have been added, and I think there are more that my colleagues can add on. The second point or third point intervention that I wish to ask you, Honorable Governor, through the chairperson, is for your indulgence, and indeed I feel you probably might be the right person to assist in advising the Zambezi Regional Council, and I hope you shall do so in the not too distant future. Honorable Governor, since the beginning of the year, this council has only had 3 meetings, if not 2, substantial council meetings, Honorable Governor. And it is a trend that is worrying, that requires the leadership to sit as urgently as possible so that we pave the way forward and come up with a workable solution, because as it stands, it cannot be left unattended. We were voted into the offices for us to engage on a regular basis and pave the way forward for the developmental activities to take place in the region. And so far, we've been left asking ourselves questions as to why. Honorable Governor, I must mention that there is mechanisms and tools in terms of the Regional Councils Act that empowers the regional councillors to call a meeting on their own without the presence of the chairperson. But we have felt that we cannot take that position yet without having you intervened on the matter, because it would seem as if we are just here fighting each other. So, Honorable Governor, I urgently and humbly request you to intervene. The fourth point, Honorable Governor, is on wildlife and conservation. The issue of harvesting of wildlife in the region needs a concerted effort and coordination from the Regional Council through your office to convince the Ministry of Wildlife and Tourism to consider harvesting of some wildlife in the region. We have over-conserved, and it has come to a point where human life and wildlife what is the right word again? Yes, conflict has become a problem, Honorable Governor. I must mention first of all the issue of crocodiles. I still cannot understand why we must have so many crocodiles in this region. If there is a possibility to harvest some of them, let's do so. Because we've kept a large number of these crocodiles, and unfortunately it seems we do not want to have a crocodile farm. Perhaps we must consider selling them off because they are eating at our cattle almost on a daily basis. The other issues on conservancy, Honorable Governor, and here again I wish that the Minister of Environment and Tourism should consider amending the provisions of the relevant act. I know we rely on the Ordinance Act of the Ordinance whatever of 1975, which I dislike with all my heart, because in an independent Namibia we should have had the latest laws that speak to our people. Conservancies, Honorable Governor, the issue of middlemen is killing us. The idea of establishing conservancies was to benefit communities both economically and in terms of skills development and having access to the tourism sector in general. But what we have now is we have middlemen who own concessions in the form of hunting licenses. So here are the people who bring professional hunters to these conservancies. And I'll give you an example, Honorable Governor. An elephant, for example, can cost 5 million on the international market. Someone comes over from overseas, hunts that particular elephant, whatever is sold, 5 million goes to the pocket of the concession holder or the middleman. And what they do is they donate, I shouldn't even call it donate, out of pity maybe, they give away 200,000 to say this is for the conservancy. Why can it not be possible that conservancies themselves can directly market the animals? In any case, these animals are in their respective conservancies. They can be able to market these animals, have the hunters come and buy directly from the conservancies, and all the money is kept by the conservancies instead of the middlemen. And unfortunately, the middlemen, majority of them, if not all of them, are those who were previously advantaged. The last point, Honorable Governor, is the backlog of housing. National housing enterprise, Honorable Governor, has failed us spectacularly. And it's a big worry that the last report I saw, there's a backlog of over 300,000 housing. I don't know in the region, I think it's close to 8,000. So the reality is we are way behind. Land has been provided by Katima Town Council, and I believe that they can still even provide more for them to construct housing, but nothing has happened. So we call upon you, Honorable Governor, to intervene in this matter and engage the National Housing Enterprise so that they can come to the party and rescue, especially in the category of low-income housing, middle and low-income housing. And equally in the same vein also, Honorable Governor, that you engage the Minister of Urban and Rural Development to refinance or reintroduce the Do Together program that proved successful, in my opinion, in the olden days, so that this program can be resuscitated to cater for low-income households. Honorable Governor, those are my few remarks, and I thank you very much for your State of Region.
The regional address for this year, 2024. Thank you, Honorable Governor, for what you have presented to the inhabitants of the Zambezi region today. I have got other issues that I wanted to highlight, or which I did not hear clearly, that are in my project or my concern. I may say in my constituents, I have a project such as the police substation that will be very soon be inaugurated by the Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Dr. Kawana. This sub-police station have been started this year, and as I'm speaking to the region today, it's already completed, just waiting for being officially opened so that it may start working. It's a capital project, and as I'm speaking now, it's ready to start. It will be already completed. Where is the Karimbeza? It is season. It is season. And the other burning issue, Honorable Governor, which needs to engagement is about Karimbeza's project. I think many times we used to visit Karimbeza's project whenever ministers reach the region. They're going to observe, they assist in many ways that maybe they might have to assist or report to the relevant authority, but there is nothing that is happening. We were there with the Vice Prime Minister, the Vice President, but we agreed on principles that come early August. There will be something that will be happening at this Karimbeza's project, and it is the only green scheme in the region. Therefore, Honorable Governor, it needs your intervention. The Minister of Agriculture needs to be engaged, and we know why is that green scheme not operating. The third one, I may say, I had a project which I started initiating, which is from 2023 financial year, which I gave to Mkusi. As you can see, that road is being cleared from Bukisa up to Nkusi. I want that to be first phase of our concern. This year, I have to give them again that money that we received on behalf of the constituents, because last year it did not reach where it was supposed to be. Maybe by this year, they will have to reach Nkusi Combined School. That is where our mission is aiming at, that we should make first phase to reach Nkusi. And then it will go up to former up to Mumbone and joining Brandon Simbwaye Road. Currently now they are busy with that road. And may I thank the road authority officials that whenever they are being asked for an assistance to clear up, they have to assist in that regard. Thank you for that. And the other one is, since the clinic is under renovation, and I'm quite sure it will soon have been completed as well. And upon completion, I'm quite sure this clinic might have 2 to 3 nurses rather than 1. But the problem that is lying there is the ministry must see to it that they assist in terms of accommodation. Because I can only see that a small house which is there. Therefore, there is a need that they add either 2 other houses for the nurses when this clinic, which is under renovation, will be completed. Therefore, I really thank the Minister of Health for well done job. The other one, Honorable Governor, I'm concerned with the clinic, the mobile one, that was started last year, 2023, in my constituency, the former area. This clinic had been completed, and there is nothing that is taking place. What are we waiting for? Are we waiting to be vandalized? Because the purpose of that sub-clinic, it must start functioning. I think, again, I would like the Honorable Governor to assist in this regard, so that it mustn't become a white elephant. The last one, which is most worrisome in the region, it is SORA Zambezi region. Honorable Governor, the procurement of SORA, the inhabitants of this region, is not acceptable. They are even going worse. We were told that our cattle, we might be paid within a month after qualifying for being quarantined. But our cattle will be slaughtered at the end of that particular month, or second week or third week. We'll have to wait 3 to 4 months without being paid. What is this? I think we need our intervention to assist our farmers. Otherwise, what is happening is not acceptable. Having said the few concerns, I think.
I understand they requested the environmental clearance certificate from the Minister of Environment and Tourism, but up to now, there is no construction which is taking place while their money is available. So we wonder why. Why is the ministry taking too long? Promising people on the radio, but they are not even forthcoming. Even the implementation of the boreholes, the rehabilitation of the boreholes, as mentioned by Honorable Divine, it is taking too long. As we are aware that we do have the dry spell now, a lot of boreholes have went dry, but the Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, they are failing us. They should have responded to us within a short period of time, so that at least the livestock cannot die. And it doesn't work well with regard also, I share the same sense, with regard also to the clinic. The ministry is failing us. The intermediate hospital is not even forthcoming. They talk, but no implementation. Writing letters to the central government to respond, but they don't even come back to us within a short period of time. Mobile clinic like the Miyako one, you remember Honorable Governor is coming a long way. Since 2013 up to date, there's nothing which is happening there. The ministry is telling us we will definitely construct that clinic, but up to date, there's nothing. You know, community are up in arms now that there's nothing which is happening. As the Honorable Governor, let me say, Honorable Councillors countrywide, they don't have the budget, but the government, the line ministry, they are the one who are holding the budget. A councillor is only a transmitting belt between the community and the central government. So if the line ministries are not responding to the issues which they are given by the Honorable Councillors, nothing can happen. The community might think the Honorable Councillor is the one who is failing. It might not be the councillor. But where the money is coming from the line ministries, who are not availing those funds in order to assist the community. So at least if the ministers could respond. Instead, some ministers normally say, no, go and ask the councillor whom you have elected, knowing already that the councillor doesn't have money. So it doesn't work well. Some of these issues could have been tackled within a short period of time. Also the road, I did not hear also the road in Nakabolela Road to Kasika. I did not hear it. Wokalo Moyako Ngoma Road, I did not hear it because what I'm aware of also is the fact that the road for Miyako, for Bukalo Miyako Ngoma Road is finalized. The tender will be awarded very soon this month for the contractor to be on site. I did not hear it. And also the tender for the Morela to Kasika also, it has been finalized. Next month the contractor will be also be brought to site in order for the project to commence also. So maybe, I don't know why it's not incorporated. Maybe the people, the staff members who supposed to have done that, they did not do their part. So now, Honorable Governor, the issue of water in the Zambezi region is very critical because of the situation where we find ourselves. It's a drought. So the government need to respond to this particular issue within a short period of time. We are already in August now. August, September, and October, that's where the problem is. At least middle of November we might receive rain, but the 3 months from now it is a problem if there's nothing done to rescue the situation of water in the Zambezi region. Let me now allow the Honorable Governor to respond, even though some of the issues were contributions, but Honorable Governor, it is now your time to respond to the questions which were.
In saluting the Governor for addressing the region and the nation on the state of affairs of the region. And indeed, there are some projects that are quite critical which were not outlined in the report. And indeed, the inhabitants want to know. Honorable Governor, before I go into detail of our report, I felt it was necessary that our technocrats should always align the State of Regional Address to the MTF that dictates our financial requirement in terms of the budget. There is an outcry on the issue of Wukalo Ngoma Miyako pipeline, because this pipeline, from what I know, it was one of the projects that were funded by African Development Fund, that loan. I just want to find out how far has it gone, because last time when we had the council meeting, I was informed that the environmental impact assessment certificate was not done. And it's affecting communities along the Ngoma line, because we cannot provide them with boreholes awaiting the project to continue. And you are aware that part of Ngoma, including the other side, is part of Kapesau. People are really bitter because this water is salt. Studies have proven that. So the non-starting of the Ngoma pipeline is affecting thousands of communities along the three constituencies. Even our own prison itself, I think the commanders here can bear with it. Ngoma was attracting growth of soil. All we are just adjacent to the dry chopping. The second one, which is quite a serious concern, is the non-completion of the music clinic. It's an outcry. the place is far away. And Honorable Governor, Muzi is one of the area in the region that has close to 100 million budgeted. 96 million upgrading of schools in the floodplain. This is in the empty. Nothing is happening. The clinic was an 8 months project. We are going to 5 years. I have 4 registered deaths, including human-wildlife conflict, which you can register and subject the government to explain to the community, because this clinic has been really outstanding for quite some time. Yes, there are procurement issues, but let emergency brigade decide those cases that are recorded. Therefore, I would really want to get more. It goes together with our district hospital. There's a serious complaint in the region. Patients are no longer, Honorable Governor, allowing themselves to go to window for a follow-up, because 90% of patients there always return as corpses. And this has put us into a very serious problem. So the issue of intermediate is long overdue. I remember during the time of Honorable Fiku, we were promised that they are going to collaborate with the security cluster to provide airplane and helicopter. Maybe we need to revive that so that at least our family members are flown from here and return with safety. Because the statistics gives us that everyone who goes to India on emergency will always come in a coffin. And these days we are even arranging, tickets for the date. I don't think we will really continue with that. So let's revive the issue of working with the Ministry of Health and the security cluster while we are operating the district hospital, the intermediate, so that at least we save lives. I would also refer you on page 524 of the MTF, our budget. There is a project called this 514. Time and again we've been complaining this in the regional council meeting. These projects reflect as part of allocation of Zambezi region, but we don't have Nagadalda. So if it can be worked out and be removed as part of the funding to Zambezi region. Because if you look at our total budget, it's 332 million. But find Nagadalda, I don't know how Nagadalda finds itself here in Zambezi regional project. It must be realigned, because the budget reflects quite a lot of significant amount, which is going to the other region, but it's coded under Zambezi. Much has been said, Honorable Governor, in terms of rural electrification, but we still have a lot of inequalities. Kabe South is still having close to 5 schools that are not electrified. But in terms of government programs, the target was supposed to be 2020 to electrify all schools. So I believe the 2 million that the Ministry of Mines and Energy provide, it won't take us forward, but it's 4 steps backwards if we are able to electrify schools in the rural areas. And we are talking of equality and also provide education for all. We cannot expect learners who are without lights in both school and homes to perform like those in urban areas. So I believe maybe we need to strive and ensure that we find solution to the remaining schools. 34 years after independence, while others have facilities, the learning environment, while others don't have. It's not right. Finally, Honorable Governor, I would like to inform that the Minister of Health managed during the course of this year to do some eye clinics in primary school, of which 5 of schools in Kabe South benefited they did some eye tests, which was a very good progress that was made to be recorded. To conclude, is the issue of Katima Farm that had been transferred to correctional services. Let it be so. Prove that the action that had been provided to really alleviate employment and also food security to the region. And I fully concur with other honorable members that the Department of Safety and Security have been working very hard across the region. And they have attended most of the issues, from cattle theft, and they also provide the required peace and stability that's in the region. And much more will happen. We'll report as the action comes. With no submission of the governor, I fully concur with what they reported to the region. I so say.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Councillors, for their questions and inputs. First of all, what I would like to say is that any report that I give, it comes from the constituencies. I wonder why honorable councillors are asking me about this. These are your reports to the government's office. That's one thing. Some of these projects you are saying were not reported on. These are projects which will be reported on next year. They are still happening now. I cannot report on something which is not finished. And we are reporting on the previous year to inform the nation what we did the previous financial year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Governor.
No, I'm answering that. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Simasiku. Yeah, on MVA, yeah, this is a project to be reported on by next year. Union campus, you know, for the past 3 years, we always write letters, even to the honorable councillors, to give my office what should we report in the State of the Regional Address. So if it was not given to my office, I will not report on it, whether I see it happening. I need a report. I need financial costs. I cannot just come here and say, MVA office is under construction. How much? So this is what is happening. The modern school, yes, is still to be reported on. Choto, the same. Greenwell Police Station, the same. Ministry of Justice, yes, I reported on this one. The office is finished, even the amount is mentioned in the State of the Regional Address, the cost. Let's come to the critical one. Thank you very much, Honorable Simasiku. Meetings of the Regional Council. The Regional Council Act stipulates that the Regional Council should have meetings. All regional councillors should be informed 14 days before the Regional Council meeting takes place. Why are these meetings not taking place? This is the question to be directed to the Honorable Chairperson of the Regional Council. Yes, I received a letter from the regional councillors that I should intervene on this. We are to talk about it with the Honorable Chairperson. It is very important a very big structure like the regional council should have meetings. The regional council should have meetings. This is where we talk about the region, the challenges of the region. Yes, we come to next one, conservancies, middlemen. It's true. Last year, the chairperson here will support him on this one. There was a wildlife conflict conference in Ghana in May last year, where we talked about this. He was one of those who were talking vocal about these services and wildlife. And on the middlemen, I also stood up and said, why are our conservancies not having their own hunters? I suggested this to that conference. We say there are hunters. Where are they selling these trophies, hunting trophies? Let's work hard and know where they are selling. Then we train our own people to become hunters in our conservancies. Imagine an elephant. 200,000. A hunter pays 200,000. That's fake. That's not the real amount of an elephant. Let's look at those 3 elephants which were sold by the country to India. One elephant costed 1 million. Later on, through the media, we heard that particular person was selling those elephants at 3 million each. How rich is that particular person? How much is left for the Namibian poor men and the women? So it's true, we should fight hard. And I've been mentioning this in our meetings with the environment, that let's train our people to become hunters. Professional hunters too. We are being robbed. This is daylight robbery, which is taking place in the conservancy. We mentioned $12 million for last year. $12 million. How many elephants were there? If we say 3 million, only 4 elephants. And how many elephants were sold for each conservancy? It's too much. So let's work together. As a region, let's work together and talk to our high authorities about this. I saw there is a training going on in Windhoek now, where they are saying they are training hunters. I don't know whether they are real hunters or maybe they are game guides. This is what we have to do. Let's stand up and talk to our high authorities so that we get better services from these trophy hunters. On the course, Masiku, we came also to wildlife harvesting. It's true. We have got a lot of wildlife, more especially elephants. In May this year, I accompanied His Excellency the President with the Namoro Mbumba with a meeting of CASA with all 5 heads of state and CASA in Livingstone, where figures were given each country, how many elephants, a lot. Mr. Biloba is here, a lot of elephants. But we cannot say we should start killing them. That's why we see tourists coming here. They want to come and see these elephants. They are not coming to see for nothing. We are getting something from them. Yeah. If we will say we are going to cull all these elephants, will be left with nothing, the same Europe did to their own elephants, their own wildlife. That's why they can't do it. There's nothing there. Nothing. Not even Kaputi. Nothing. That's why they are coming. So this is very important that we look at how this, more especially the problem animals. Yes, those ones we should get rid of them. We have a very good management of our wildlife so that we don't kill everything. Yes, NHE, wherever you go, even town council, economic town council, they gave NHE some land to develop and also build houses. They're talking about 500 houses. Over 500 houses built ever since maybe 2015 or somewhere, but nothing is coming out. So it's not that maybe it's their problem, but it's finances. NHE is a state-owned enterprise, so they depend on finances from the government for them to deliver. Build Together program, very good one. The regional councils, the local councils, they are talking about this, the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development. These programs are very, very important so that we slash some of these mishaps, how to provide housing to our people. Yeah, I remember a very good debate from Honorable Ricardo. We should not say shelter. No. Shelter you can build anything, even sticks. You put up sticks, you then have shelter above your head. That's not what we want. We want housing. And we have to talk to the Minister of Urban so that they get more budget for these projects to continue. Thank you, Honorable Sansi. Honorable Ricardo, yes, you mentioned it. Technocrats, these are the people who are making reports for your constituencies to the Chief Regional Officer. And I get these reports through the Chief Regional Officer to be included in the State of the Regional Address. Yes, we have Bukalo, Muyako, and Goma. Even before the African Development Bank loan was obtained, there was the plan of Katima Mulilo, Bukalo, Goma pipeline. It ended up why? It's our lenience in government, not only for the Zambezi Council, it's a lenience in government. You give a project to somebody, he fails, and they still want to give him another project. It will never work like that. We have projects and projects stalled, which will never work. We have the Maniha crocodile farm at Congo. What's happened? The baboons have taken all the thatched grass from there. We have to start from afresh. How many millions we spent there? So we have to spend double on something which we were supposed to spend only once. It's our lenience in government. Muyako. This is very serious. Water. The government got how many billions? 1 billion. 1.8 billion from African Development Bank for water, to solve the water problems in Namibia. And we were told from last year, we are coming, the Minister of Water and Minister of Agriculture, Water and Energy, we are coming. Up to now, we're still waiting. People have been registered already in the villages for this phase, and even phase 3 of Kongola to Sangwali to Marihera. Yes, people were not registered. Even the off-takes from houses to the village and so forth, already registered. It's not our problem. It's the problem of who you are planning on this. And remember that planning is taking place in the window. We are not involved. This is the main problem we have in our nation. We cannot plan for me. Maybe you will say, I need a road. Before I need water, I must get water to walk on that road. Should I walk on that road hungry or thirsty? So we should weigh our priorities. Honorables, the kind of, yes, music clinic, I mentioned this in the State of Regional Adress, that the project was terminated because the tender could not finish, the contractor could not finish the work. While this is a very important thing, imagine in the flat cone area, the person becomes sick. We have to paddle all the way from Z to the nearest is Lona or soon Tomba. It's not fair. Crocodiles, snakes, hippos on the road or on the water. We cannot survive like this, sure. Some of these tenders, we should make sure that a tender has to be completed, not only completed, but be on time. Let's always stand up as a region to go and see, visit these ministers and complain, tell them about our challenges. MTF project. Yes, since the beginning of the construction of Nekatel Dam, there is always a $10 million showing in Zambezi. And they still write it, $10 million for Nekatel Dam, that is in Zambezi. When was that when we questioned this? They were here. Last of last week, they were here. National planning. Why should they put this thing in our budget when it's not here? The Nekatel Dam is not here. And there's no single dam in this region. And they're showing there even other dams in Zambezi region. So the budget we see is not what we get. Dr. Fuku, yes. Before Dr. Fuku came in, our own honorable Dr. Kam, he informed us that by 2018, this hospital will be an intermediate hospital. It's not. Dr. Fick came in, he said, by 2022, this Katima Milo will be an intermediate hospital. So, to add to that, he put up a plan that since Katima Milo is very far, his plan was that there should be a helicopter on standby in this region. to transport those who are sick, those who are involved in accidents, or those who are too high, immediately to Rundu or to Rundu. He was hands-on visiting this hospital, coming with doctors, 9 doctors, come and do operations and all this. Well, that is a short-term solution. All that we need is an intermediate hospital. I don't know how many times we have. Yes, electrifying of schools in Kabe South. I mentioned this several times at the Prime Minister's office and also Ministry of Works. The flood-prone area is a very, very difficult place to work in. And the only time we can work in the flood-prone area is from July, maybe end of July, those years when there are floods. End of July to first week of May of December, because the rains are already coming. If we miss this period, we will not be able to do anything in the flood-prone area. It will be wet. Some places will not be accessible and all these things. So we advised the Ministry of Works, those who are dealing with documentation, to do it on time, so that when that place is dry, they should immediately work. It's like squeezing water from a stone. Nothing is coming out. I was still with Honorable Kando. Yes, electrification of schools in Kabesa to delay because of the situation of floods. Then eye tests. Yes, he told me about eye tests which were going on. It's this year. They will be reported on next year by the incoming government. I'm going on the 20th of April, 20th of March. 20th of March, my contract finished. I'm also old. Yeah, Katima Farm to correctional facility. Yes, this is something which was discussed through cabinet. The farm should be taken over by correctional services, become a correctional facility. Our security cluster, thank you, Honorable Khan, recognize our security sector. We are working very hard. Despite all the challenges, vehicles, personnel, not enough, and all these things. So, but they are doing a very good job. Honorable Divine, thank you for the questions. Mitigation of unemployment. As I mentioned in the State of Regional Adress, that we have unemployment. Unemployment rate is at 42% in Zambezi. This was the last survey by the Minister of Labor. 42%, that's too high. If we are saying by that time it was 95,000, if you calculate 42% of 95,000, it's just too high. Now we are 142,000 after the census of 2023. I don't know where these people came from. The census of 1992 was 100,000. The census of 2002 was 72,000. It went down. because of the migration of people from this region, and they're also secessionists. 2011, we came to 95,000. So from 2011 to 2023, 142,000. Is that true? Is it true? People were working here. Yeah, it's true, unemployment is very high, and the only way we can create more employment, as I mentioned in the State of Regional Adress, is through green schemes. We have got land here available by our traditional authorities. We have 5,000 hectares at Singalama, 1,000 hectares at Kongola, 5,000 hectares of land at Sachon, 2,000 hectares of land at Gasul, 1,000 hectares of land at Muyako, 10,000 hectares of land at Lusese. We have 1,700 hectares of land at school. Then we have 10,000 hectares that which was supposed to be for tobacco here in Serbia. All these land are virgin lands. All that we need is to get, be it local or international investors, to come and put up green schemes in this region. How did we get this land? Honorable Swaratani, Honorable Mwelima, I asked them when I came in this office, is there any land where we can put up green schemes? They said no. The traditional authorities were refusing to give the land. I took all the 4 traditional authorities to Kavango to see the green schemes. Every, starting from Shadi Kongoro, Ndongarinena, Mashare, Vunguvungu, Sikondo, up to Musese. The chiefs were told by their counterparts that what we did, we just called our people, tell them that the government needs land for green schemes. What are the benefits? The benefits are employment, casual employment for those who are coming in during harvesting or weeding and even planting. Then 10% goes to the traditional authority. They were very happy to hear that. Then when we came, they said we were going to give you land. This is the land held by the traditional authority since 2012. And I've given these properties or land parcels to the Minister of Agriculture since 2012. Every office, national planning, I gave them all these parcels. It's not our problem that we don't have green schemes. Only one can use our support. We are not receiving money for us to put up. Last year, the councillor Sahi, it was last year, it was 2020, when I wrote a letter asking for $1 billion to start even one farm in this region. We were told there's no money. 1 billion. We have got so many graduates in agriculture, those who could work in that farm. 1 billion to put up a irrigation system from Zambezi up to Lisero. But people were fighting for tobacco. Some people, they got vehicles. They were given vehicles, permission. Just of that land. They got the vehicles and the money. It's not good at all for this region. Honorable Divine, boreholes, water repairs, and all these things. We have our rural water supply section here, it's a section, decentralized to the Zambezi Regional Council. These are the people who are working on our water supply. The problem that we have are repairs in a borehole or a generator or solars are stolen and all these things. To replace, to repair, we have a problem. The money given to the rural water supply section is just not enough. But with the little that they have, they are trying their own best. Radio services, very poor reception is true. Even yesterday, I was coming from my village there, rushed there. That radio in that car, it operates only up to Kapani. After that, no reception in the radio. If those who are receiving reception in the radios, they have to put antenna, a wire, and throw on top of the house. That's when they can get reception. This is a difficult situation. Madam Mafale, is she here? Our manager, NBC. I wrote a letter first to her about this reception at Impalila, Kongola, all those areas from Namushashra up to Singanan, Impalila and Sangwali. The reception is poor. So she referred me to the managing director. I wrote a letter to the managing director. We are still waiting. When the Minister, Honorable Nata, was still Minister of Information and Communication Technology, he informed MTC TM that wherever there is a tower, let them put together on one tower their gadgets to save the people. But these MTC and the TM, they don't want to cooperate. They don't want to work together. Last year, MTC, was it MTC? No, it was TM. What is this? PowerCom. They were here last year. We told them, we asked them in our meeting with some of the councillors who were there, why can't you put your gadgets together on one tower? Like now, TM is only operated with Ukalo and Katimon. That's all. They are losing money also. So we are trying to make sure that radio reaches our people. Information is power. Information is knowledge. So it's better that what you listen from these radios, but even using other media facilities. Rural electrification, yeah, from the beginning, rural electrification was that they could electrify the school, the church, the agriculture, the development centers, ADCs, and the kutas. Then there was a new